All right, this is Reality Supreme Being, also known as Cesar St. Augustine de Buonaparte, Emperor of the United States of Turtle Island. You know, even without the titles and all that, I'm a human being. I don't know why these companies and people do what they do, taking away people's possessions. It's bad enough. I've been homeless over and over again. I've been knocked down by city, state, even federal people. Even when you asked the White House 2 years ago to help with my housing situation, nobody wanted to help. They don't care. They don't like junky people. They don't like. They'll have some reason to put you down. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm trying to get this straightened out here. Doesn't matter what it is. They'll have some reason to mess with you. And I mean, you know, we're all going to die anyway. Those of you that have even wanted to take the time with any of my videos, why are you destroying me? Why? Who? 6 billion people on the planet. All I need is I had a plot of land. You people, don't you understand? When you interrupt a person's life, you interrupt their procedure. They also have a right to procedure. Procedure to buy land at their own pace, pay it off at whatever way they can. And here I am forced to be putting stuff away, under my name, under other people who wanted to help me under their names, and nobody cares. You care more about procedure and technicality than you do about uh, playing along with the rules. It's bad enough that I'm dying every day. I don't have a reason to live. It's ludicrous. This city will never admit, the county, the federal government would never admit, by either through direct contact, through direct altercations, or by total neglect, that they are responsible for all of my damages. It's difficult for me to talk anymore. I'm about to lose even more of my possessions that I desperately tried to hold on. Bad enough they took my cars, my boats, my trucks, my motorhomes, and they were full of all this stuff. And people, of course, were always putting me down, saying, "You have too much stuff. You have junk." Really? Well, I think Donald Trump and all the rich people in the world have too much money. I think their money looks like junk. I think all of their money piled up in one place would be a tremendous fire hazard. And yet, I don't have the same right and privilege. And it isn't money that I'm holding, it's stuff. And people say, "What do you want with so much stuff?" It's none of your business. It's my right, it's my life, and you should respect that. But you don't. But just because people on the average throughout the United States are not having the same troubles I am, I mean, if we had to take a vote on it, I'm definitely having a very rare instance of, or isolated instance of trouble. People like me are having isolated instances of trouble. Everybody else is struggling and paying this and paying that and willing to pay the rent, or willing to pay the rip-off mortgages, someone else's mortgage. And I just got off the phone with a friend of mine who's got some storage containers that he was forced to rent because his house was set on fire. Him and a lady friend of his, her situation was bad too. And pretty much we were all forced to put our stuff into different storage containers or storage facilities. And it's something that we never wanted to do because we had our own nest egg. We were paying our money, paying our bills. Something came along, disrupted us, and then forced us to move, or forced us to have to, like I said, move. And if you don't have a place to move, you can't put your stuff on the street. So you end up going into this public storage, or you go here, there. And then you have other problems that you have to deal with. Your whole life is changed. Don't you understand? Here's a message for the president. You're an idiot anyway, but I'll give you a message anyway. Why? What's so important with your black skin that you're your race made a big deal about it. I'm black. I don't want to be called nigger. I don't want to. You were totally abused, and here I am, and it shouldn't have anything to do with the color of my skin, nationality, or race. I'm abused too, and I don't see you reaching your hand out to me to help me. As a matter of fact, you sent your Secret Service to Boulevard Burgers to tell me not to call the White House anymore. Why? Because I was finally getting my message to enough people in the White House at all the private numbers, and maybe some of them were starting to feel sorry for me, and because you control the media and you didn't want the media to have me on television. Sure, I did 40, 50 videos, and they all have me ranting and raving and all of that. I'm about to lose the rest of my stuff. It's okay to have a lot of stuff so long as you have an approved place, either storage or whatever. Storage is storage. You can't work in the storage. You can't unfold your life and work on many things like I do. I'm the kind of person that has to have a lot of projects going on around me all at the same time. I can't do them all at the same time, but I have them ready to be worked on at any moment. That's just me. And I don't deserve to have my rights protected. Tomorrow, the next day, at 330 Park Row Center, a friend of mine, a couple of friends of mine, maybe even more than that, their rights were violated. Porta Store, which is the 330 Park Row, Ventura, in the city of Ventura, California, are going to auction off, supposedly, if they're telling the truth, 7 containers. Some of those containers contain very important papers, maybe even White House papers, even top secret documents. But yet, the Porta Store people and their attorneys, here's what they don't send. This is called an opposition to oppose an auction. This is filed. This is a copy of this and a copy of a lien example in the Buildings and Professions Codes. And when you call the Buildings and Professions Codes, when you call the Department of Consumer Affairs, Building and Safety, the police department, and nobody is authorized to do anything about it. If someone violates these codes, which is supposedly passed by the state legislature and is considered illegal to break any of them, yet these people at Porta Store and some lady named Tina Rogers, who's turned out to be a real, word starts with a B, and won't let the people talk to the owner, Grant, and won't let them talk to the attorney. As a matter of fact, one of my buddies, went to the courthouse and made a copy of the declaration in opposition to the lien and sent it. He also had a power of attorney from a lady friend of his who was out of state at the time, who it was faxed to. She signed it and it faxed back. Now that lady's disabled. She suffers from, well, I won't say it, but she suffers from some mental problems. But these were faxed and sent to their attorneys, and they're still going to have the auction, even though they violated the code section 21,705, which requires them to send this document along with the lien sale notice by certified mail. Now, the people at Porta Store aren't really a bad folk. They were pretty good. They went along and took payments from these people. But things are really bad right now. And everybody in California, a lot of people won't disagree with me. They'll tell you things are really bad. And instead of them saying, let's work something out, okay, we've been patient with you this long, I'll be patient a little bit longer. No. The word starts with B and ends in H. This Tina Rogers says, no, I'm not going to talk to you any longer. I'm not going to have any more conversation. Blah, 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 and she hangs up. And they're going to either have the auction tomorrow or the next day. She did say their attorney's looking at it, but it doesn't matter. The point here is, it doesn't even matter if the documents are questionable in any way, because the violation has taken place before the documents were ever sent to them or faxed to them. My friend told me he saw in there, and this lady named Katrina told him, who has a separate container over there in Ventura, told him that she asked this Tina Rogers for a copy of this form, and she refused to send it to her. Now, why is that? You know what? What's going on here is a society that doesn't care about disabled people and wants to hurt them and maybe even kill them in a roundabout way. You don't know how much heartache you're causing. You don't know how much about terrible hurt you're causing by auctioning off this stuff. The only reason that they fell behind and couldn't pay now it's like $1,800 these two people owe. I don't know how many the other containers owe, but they must owe quite a bit. Is because they don't know enough people. They don't know anyone with a sympathetic heart in Los Angeles or Canoga Park or Van Nuys or someplace that will rent them a space in a backyard or in a business somewhere to put the containers. They can pay the $85 a month. That's not the problem. The problem is finding a place for their stuff so they can have access to it. They don't have access to it in the city of Ventura. One of the ladies lives in West Hills. This Katrina lady. The other person lives on the street, homeless. Kind of like me, I guess. And all these people are asking us some more time. And they must be hurting pretty bad to lie, to cheat, to violate Section 21705 and not send that extra piece of paper in with the notice that they're going to sell the goods if you don't pay up. Unless we're beginning to think that they already sold them a long time ago and they've been lying all this time just to milk these people for money because they haven't been able to go over there to Ventura to check to see if their container is even there. And if they did that, then they're really in violation and criminal. I call the Ventura Police Department. That has to be handled by a civil case. Where is this going to end? I hope this message supporter store, I hope you get this. I hope you enjoy that stuff. I hope you enjoy hurting, causing heartbreak, causing total destitution in a person's life. It's one thing if a person loses everything from an earthquake. It's another for you people to be causing this hurt. You're the evil ones. Obama's the evil one. The Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton's the evil one. All the senators, all the congressmen. You know, if there was a meteor that anywhere on this planet a country deserves, it's not in the middle of, like Hal Fishman, who's deceased now, a newsman once said, what if a meteor hit Israel? That would end in Palestine. That would end all of the bitching and fighting. No, Hal, Mr. Fishman, you're wrong. The meteor's not needed in Israel and Palestine. It's needed right smack dab in the middle of the United States. One that'll totally sink it completely under the oceans and bring the Atlantic and the Pacific just rushing in and flooding the whole country, and it's gone. Because that's how much evil you put in my heart. That's how much evil you put in hurt in other people's hearts when you auction their stuff off. I talked to them on the telephone to kind of bolster up their help. Did you know they told me that they have 5 other containers that are up for auction? No one else is calling them except those 2 people. Seems to me like they should have some kind of heart and at least allow them a little more time. But they're not going to do that, are they? So yeah, you know, they've already raped me repeatedly of all my cars, trucks, boats, possessions. Now they're raping these people. And these are people that are going to they show up at the auction or they call and they're concerned about their stuff. They want to do something about it. The only avenues left to them is come up with $1,900. Who's going to do that for them? 2 disabled people who really need help. Nobody. That's it. from Reality Supreme Being, also HRM Cesar St. Augustine de Bonaparte.